Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Finally Achieve That Resolution. What is important to you? This is a fresh twist on setting your intentions for the new year. Our 20-minute workshop will be led by licensed Avatar Master and 3-year Over 40 Females member, Ariella Sarai. Over 40 Females has weekly educational teleseminars that range from fashion to finance to building your business, strengthening your spirituality, and endless other subjects you can benefit from. If you want to find out more, for those of you who aren't members yet, please go to over40females.com and join us. This workshop today is open to the public, but most are only available if you have a membership on over40females.com, which start at less than $17 a month. And this teleseminar will be recorded and archived in our educational video library for those of you that are members, and you can access it at any time. Thank you, Ariella, so much for coming on this teleseminar today and divulging valuable information that all of us could definitely use this time of year.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. There's the first slide. My name is Ariella Sarai. I'm a licensed Avatar Master. That's Avatar is a self-empowerment course that's taught in over 70 countries and translated into 31 languages. So I'm going to start out today by telling you a little bit about my background, a little bit about the course, and then we're going to dive into a fresh perspective on setting goals for the new year. So I was trained as a therapist. I went to Barnard for my undergraduate degree and University of Pennsylvania for my master's degree in social work. I've worked with a lot of different people in prisons, people in hospices, foster children. Eventually, I had a private practice for many years, and I was successful as a therapist, but I was looking for something more, something deeper, a little bit more spiritual, but also practical, something I could use. And I went to India twice, actually. The first time I was volunteering with Mother Teresa. Then I went and I met the Dalai Lama and I studied Tibetan Buddhism on a separate trip. So I've really been searching. Truthfully, even with all of the training and education and everything, I still found myself depressed, and I hit a low point. I was a single mom. I had just gotten divorced, and my greatest struggle was that I knew so much information, but I couldn't actually live it. So for me, the feeling was like I had read all these great books, studied, but how I was living really paled. I wasn't as kind as I wanted to be. I couldn't control my emotions, and I was really frustrated. And so finally, my best friend at the time, she was a PhD, a therapist, married to a psychiatrist, and she said, "You need to do the Avatar course." I said, "What's that?" She told me it was an amazing self-empowerment course, and I did. So after that course, I learned that I was in control of my mind and my emotions. I learned tools, how to create what I want, how to live deliberately, and everything changed. And so today, in this talk, the tools and principles that I'm going to be giving you come from the Avatar course. The topic for today, what do I really want to create this year? It's a fresh perspective. So today we are not going to be talking about how to force yourself better, how to push yourself more, how to focus more. Really, in my experience, that all leads to more blaming of ourselves and more discouragement. So today, I'm going to give you guidelines for setting the right goals for you and sticking with them without pushing yourself. Most of us are used to setting a goal, and after the first week or month, we end up avoiding it or forcing ourselves to the point that we burn out and give up. I don't know if that's familiar to some of you. So I thought about this a lot. Why is this? Now, in one of Harry Palmer's videos, Harry Palmer, he's the one who created the Avatar course. He has a video called It's Getting Better. He suggests that we ask ourselves the following question. When I achieve my goal, Will I like who I've become on my way there? Maybe we are avoiding and burning out because we're not really liking who we are becoming in our daily lives on the way to our goal. If we think we need to sacrifice our well-being and our relationships to achieve our goals, maybe part of us stops wanting to persevere. Could it be that you are forgetting what's most important in your life on your way to achieving your goals? In the video, he suggests that we ask 3 questions. Now, you can write these down, but I'm also going to be having a slide with each individual question coming up, so you can write it down later as well. These questions are really vital to ask when setting your goals. First, what do you want? Then, what would you have to do or become to get there? And 3, is your attitude toward that goal working for or against you? So now we're going to break all of these down and go over them in detail. What do you want? In resurfacing, Harry Palmer says that setting a goal that's right for you is done by using your best reasoning, liberally seasoned with your intuition. It is reasonable because you sincerely feel you can achieve it. It is intuitive because it feels right. A right for you goal excites you when you think about it. It empowers you. It brings you to life. It sizzles. It provides you with the creative energy for its own attainment, plus a little extra. So we're going to break down some of the steps that you can do for really deciding what makes you sizzle and what makes you come to life. A lot of times we're faced with this question, like, which path do I take? We're not sure which direction. And sometimes we feel like we don't even have much choice over our current circumstances. If you're feeling like you really don't know what you want, it could be because you're letting negative thoughts get in the way. If that's the case, we're going to address that in a later slide. But sometimes we honestly feel like we just don't know what we want. We just don't have a sense of it. And we kind of envy those people who always know exactly what they want. If that's the case, you can make your goal simply to determine what you want. That can be your goal. And along the way, you can start with setting some goals for internal qualities that you would like to develop. For example, I want to be less reactive. I want to be more present. I want to be kinder. There's always something you know that you want, even if it's something within yourself. So start with that and then set a goal to know exactly what you want in the bigger picture. Now, as far as like feeling like you may not know what, you may not be able to influence your circumstances so much, or you're not exactly sure if your goals inspire you, I'm going to share a story that is in one of the mini courses that we have online from the Life Alignment Program, and it's called the Stonecutter Story. There are 3 stonecutters building a cathedral, and they're all cutting stones. The first one is asked, "What are you doing?" He answers angrily, "I am cutting stones as any idiot can see." He's angry because every day is the same. He gets up and cuts stones. He doesn't see his life as having a purpose, and he is unhappy. The second stonecutter is asked the same question. He's irritable and answers, "I have to cut stones to make enough money to live." He's working only for survival and does not have a bigger picture in mind, so he's uninspired and resentful. The third stonecutter is asked the same question. He is happy. "I'm cutting stones for a great cathedral that will give comfort to thousands of people." His life has purpose, and the purpose feeds him, feeds his family, and brings them all joy. What goals make your life worth living? It's a really important question, and it's really important that you're very honest with yourself with this question. For example, if you want to lose weight, which is very common for some people in the start of the new year, maybe you want to do it because you'd like to be a role model of success for people, your children or other people as well, and you want to learn to handle your emotions without food. You see, something like that infuses your goal with a higher purpose and gives you that inspiration that sustains you. Or let's say you're selling a health product. It could be supplements or water filters or any wonderful thing that you have that helps people. When you feel the benefit to other people and how this could help them, rather than, okay, I want X amount of sales, it really infuses your goal with a whole nother quality of your intention. For some people, making money is just not enough of a motivation. It sounds really funny, but it just isn't. They just can't get juice enough to make money their goal. And for some people, it's actually the opposite, where they become so focused on making money that they lose touch with the purpose behind making money, as the story illustrates, which is really to enjoy your life more. Okay, next, when asking ourselves what we really want, we usually encounter our knee-jerk reactions. And this is what I was talking about before. If you have some negative thoughts that come in that prevent you from feeling what you want, I refer to them as just knee-jerk reactions. You start to sit down, what would I like? And you go, what is so-and-so going to say? That's for an example, okay? And sometimes we really do feel surrounded by resistance and fear from other people. And sometimes these are projections. We project what other people might say or think or how they might act or stop us or judge us. And sometimes we have experience that this is really the case in our life, and we get afraid. Sometimes also something that can happen is that we focus only on the temporary upheaval of making the change. So let's say you feel, okay, I'd really love a new job. But instead of focusing on the joy of that, you have all your attention on the fact that you'd have to leave your current situation or go through a job search or tell your boss or tell your spouse. Same thing, if you want to make a change in a relationship, all your attention can go on the upheaval, which is part of making a change very often. But if your attention gets stuck on the temporary transition, you're going to hinder yourself because you may stop there instead of keeping your attention focused on the goal. Also, we can get focused on our limitations, our self-created limitations, all our stories about why we can't make it happen. So here's my suggestion, is that when you're in the process of deciding what do I want, let them go. Let these thoughts, these voices, these fears go. Now, you will address them deliberately later. But at this point, when you're just feeling what you want, you need to give yourself the freedom and the permission to answer that question honestly without these other influences. Now, once you've landed your true goals and you really feel happy that you've written down what you want to focus on in the next year, if you follow these guidelines, that sense of knowing will give you the courage to handle any of the obstacles that you may encounter. And in fact, handling these obstacles is part of becoming the person you want to be. It's all part of your personal growth. So it's good to have the attitude of welcoming them, even though they can be challenging. But when you're rooted in your strong conviction about what you want, you'll have the courage. Okay, next question. What would you have to do or become to get there? In the Avatar Path book, Harry Palmer says, whether you'll be happy or not when you get what you want depends upon the conduct you followed while getting what you want. Do you ever have this feeling, who have I become? You find yourself totally exhausted, disconnected, not taking care of yourself, or totally scattered? Is the process of achieving your goals filled with dread or self-sacrificing? Then you've lost the point. If you're trying to create a business, but you have a short fuse with your family, no time to connect, you've lost the point. These are my nieces, by the way, and this photo just reminds me of a moment as I was learning this when my son, he was probably about 9 years old, and he was all dressed up to go out, and he was so proud of himself. And I was really busy with my phone calls, and he came up to me all proud, and I felt it. It was so irritating. It was like a hassle to have to stop what I was doing to look at him. And I noticed it, and I shifted. But I said to myself, that is a sign that I've gotten off track, because it took a real deliberate, shifting of my energy to actually become present with him and enjoy how precious he looked. So that's just a little example I wanted to add in there. So life is not just about achieving our goals. It's about the quality of our moments, connections, being truly caring, remembering what is most important, and who we are becoming as we pursue our goals. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't want to get to a healthy weight or make good money or even invest a ton of time and focus on a business or project. But it does mean that you will feel good about who you are becoming on your way there. And these are some of the qualities that are important to me to maintain: staying warm, present, and supportive. So, what would you have to do to create what you want? Sometimes you know your whole plan, but if you don't, you can just start with your first step. And actually, sometimes the first step is just really deciding. This is often overlooked, but the power of deciding as your first step will actually reveal the direction that you need to take in order to find your next step and your next step and your next step after that. So, once you really decide on your goals, write down as many steps as you know. If all you know right then is deciding, that's good enough. And here's where you can deliberately address the things that may have come up on your knee-jerk reactions. So, for example, who do you have to align with in your life? You can create an action or a business plan. You can find the right food plan for you, etc. Now, one thing that's very important, I suggest that you create the support you need. Now, of course, I have a bias here because I do teach a self-empowerment course. But whatever it is, if you need training for aspects of your business to be successful, if you want personal training, for example, at Avatar, you can build an internal foundation for success, which to me is vital. So whatever it is that you feel you need to get training on to become successful, I suggest it's vital to let yourself invest in that. Now, here's some guidelines for when you're taking your actions towards your goals. Your efforts should flow. I love this quote. Harry says, resorting to force is a failure in strategy. A lot of times we get into shoulds, which means we've lost our inner determination. And so we're trying to put in a ton of effort, but there's so much struggle when we're taking action without inspiration. If you are in your inspiration, you will still have to put in effort, but your efforts should flow. And that means you have your inner determination. So I highly suggest if you find yourself in your shoulds, stop, reconnect with your purpose like the stonecutter story, really feel it, and then go back taking your actions. It's really worth it. Okay, so now the third question. Is your attitude toward that goal working for or against you? Harry Palmer defines attitude as the mental state produced by your beliefs. So, for example, if you have the belief life is hard, think about what mental state that would produce. So we're walking around with all these attitudes that come from our beliefs. Let's take a little further look at beliefs. So beliefs, they filter your experiences. So for example, if you're walking down a beach and you're looking for blue sea glass, you will tune into bright shiny objects, and all the other rocks and shells will form like a gray blur. And that's how belief works. If you believe you can be successful, you will tune into evidence for that belief, and all the other possibilities will be a blur. Likewise, if you have a negative belief. And so you need to be really aware of your beliefs. Now, we all have a negative belief blueprint that we inherited or adopted or created from our past. And this creates a sensation of an undertow of old beliefs. And so it's really nice if you can find some way of addressing these old beliefs and clearing them out so you can create a new foundation of success. And that starts with awareness of your beliefs. Because the bottom line is that, I love this quote, beliefs are seeds that will one day flower into realities. So the belief seeds you plant in your life determine not only your attitudes, but also what you create in your life. So what beliefs are you planting that are leading to your current attitudes and experiences? Here's one part of one exercise I suggest from the Resurfacing book, Life Alignment Program. After you write your goals, make a list of your beliefs about your goals, and then ask yourself, are they helpful or impeding? Then deliberately decide, what attitude do you want to have? For example, I want to have faith that I can do it. I want to have gratitude. What attitude do you want to have? And really deliberately write that down. Oh, there's my timer my time's almost up. I love this. I just had to include this picture of a relaxed attitude. So that's one of the possibilities. Okay, I want to end today with a quote from Harry Palmer's latest book called Private Lessons. Consecration means to make something sacred, to infuse it with the power of the extraordinary, to treat it with reverence and respect. Consecration is reconnecting with divine order. Formal consecration is performed through loving, compassionate, and profound rituals. Extraordinary people consecrate their work, their relationships, and their own lives. Now, if all of this that I talked about today was easy and we just would just like start and do it, we would all be enlightened millionaires. But it does take practice. Now, you have some really amazing guidelines to go on, but I'd also like to offer anybody on this call, if you would like to go over your personal goals, your questions, your motivations, and how your beliefs work, I invite you to schedule your complimentary 30-minute goal-setting call with me. Now, you can't actually click on it, but the link is timetrade.com/book/ excuse me, S for Sarah, F for Frank 176. Now, if that's confusing to you, just email me at ariella@powerofavatar.com, and this contact information will come on another slide, and I can send you the link to schedule a session. Now, if you schedule this complimentary call within the next 24 hours, you receive 3 life-changing avatar books as a gift. It's for this group only, and the offer applies to people who decide to register for a course after the call. There's a New Year's Avatar course coming up in January 3rd to 11th, and there's my website, powerofavatar.com. If you're really looking to change your whole foundation, call me right away, or actually email me or schedule, and let's talk right away. I would love to support you to get there. Here's my contact information. If you want to schedule directly online, powerofavatar.com/special-offer has the link to schedule the 30-minute call. There's my email, and for those of you who hate technology, just call me. We'll speak for a moment, and we'll schedule. 203-249-5203. Avatar is a registered trademark of Stars Edge International. All rights are reserved. All this information does come from the Avatar course, and I'd like to thank you all so, so much for listening today. I hope something was helpful. If I can be of any assistance to you achieving your goal, please let me know. And I'd like to end with just inviting all of you, if you're not a member of Over 40 Females, it is honestly the most amazing networking group I've ever been a part of. It's just the most empowering, supportive, genuine group of people I've ever associated with in the networking community. So if you want to explore more of that, go to www.over40females.com. That's over and then the number 40females.com. Thank you, Judy, for having me. Thank you, everybody.